A very good morning, class. Today, we'll be starting with a new chapter of our Maths 2 syllabus. But before that, pay attention to this particular slide. क्या ये कभी खत्म होगा भी या नहीं? You very well know what I'm talking about. The current situation that we all are facing. That is the corona pandemic. Also, the news have come that Russia is the first country who has made a vaccine, and they are claiming that it is actually, successful and we can give it to people. Though it was in its final stages of the trial, yet, the third phase was still left out. So, क्या ये सच में effective होगी या नहीं? These are the sort of questions which are coming in our mind nowadays. क्या chances है इसके? So can you find a common element among all these questions which I asked you all just now, class? That is, we always talk about chances or possibilities in our everyday life. We always have a dilemma whether क्या ये होगा या नहीं होगा. क्या possibility है, क्या chance है. So class, these type of concept which involve chances or possibilities of either happening or not happening, that is certainty and uncertainty, is called as probability, which we have already covered in our previous standards as well. So class, today we are going to start with Mathematics and Statistics Part 2, Commerce, Lesson number 8, Probability Distributions. That is, it is related to occurrence of chances or possibilities related to a particular event. The common example, as you must have seen when we always study probability, is number 1, tossing of a coin, wherein you are familiar with all these concepts known as sample space. That is, when you toss a coin, you have only two possibilities. That is, either you get a head or a tail. So can I say the total outcome is 2 over here? And the event can be defined as getting a head or getting of a tail. The second common example which you must have heard of, class, is rolling of dice or throwing an unbiased dice. 1 time, 2 times, or many a times. So the sample space over here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So can I say the outcome over here is 6? So the event can be defined as getting a prime number or getting even numbers or getting a number greater than 3. There are infinite possibilities of rolling of dice. Now, why they are called as common examples? What is common between these two particular experiments? We have already studied about random experiments and sample spaces to these random experiments. So both of them can be defined as a random experiment. But the question over here is, the interest is not always in a random experiment and its sample space. Or what is the interest of a particular person when he conducts a random experiment? Is he interested in the outcome or sample space? Perfectly not. But the only reason that the person may be interested will be in some number obtained from the outcome of a random experiment. For example, tossing of a coin. You may be interested in finding out whether if you are tossing a coin 5 times or 10 times, what are the possibilities or chances that we get a head? Or what is the chances of getting a tail? Similarly, in rolling of dice, as you must have observed, you may not be interested in the sample space. Maybe what are the possibilities of getting prime numbers if you roll the dice 2 times? So, can I say a unique real number can be associated with every possible outcome of a random experiment? And this unique real number is called none other than variable. Now class, this variable can have different values for different outcomes. The value of this variable depends on the outcome of the experiment. That is the random experiment. That is tossing of a coin or rolling of a dice. Hence, it is called as a random variable and generally represented by capital letters X, Y, Z, and so on. So for example, when we are throwing 2 dices, there are 36 possible outcomes. But what if we are only interested to get the sum of the numbers on the 2 dice? So we have 11 different possible values from 2 to 12. As the minimum number which on adding gives 1 plus 1, which is 2, and the maximum 6, 6 gives us 12. In the similar manner, if we are tossing a coin 10 times, then the total possible outcomes are 2 raised to 10. That is 1024 possibilities. But what if we are interested in getting only number of heads among 10 tosses? Then we have the possible values from 0 to 10. So I hope class you have followed the meaning of variable and a random variable. So the variable is nothing but the value, the number which is obtained from the outcome. As I told you, if you're throwing 2 dices, the variable can be the values from 2 to 12. Similarly, this variable changes or it has different values for different outcomes. As in case of a coin, the sample space, the outcome is 2. Whereas in rolling of a dice, the sample space, the outcome is 6. So it depends upon the outcome of a random experiment. That is why it is called as a random variable. So with this definition class, with this concept, let us define what is a random variable. A random variable is formally defined as a real valued function defined on the sample space of a random experiment. In other words, the domain of a random variable is the sample space of a random experiment, while its codomain is the real line. Thus, X is equal to S implies R is a random variable. So we often use the abbreviation R dot V. So class will be using this abbreviation for random variable. So random variable X is defined as sample space which belongs to the real number. That is, a unique real number is assigned. Now what are the types of random variable? There are 2 types of random variable. Number 1, a discrete random variable. Now what do you mean by a discrete random variable? To explain y'all in a simple terms, it should be countable. That means all the numbers, all the values, all the possibilities which you can count. Now, for example, number of pages in a book. Number of students who are failing in a particular subject in a college. Number of printing errors in a page. Number of floors in a skyscraper. Number of cars sold by a dealer. All these you can count easily. So we can say these are example of discrete random variable. Second one, continuous random variable. For a continuous random variable, the variable should be measurable. That means you cannot count but measure. For example, height in centimeters of 50 students, the weight in kilograms of people, the height of trees in the forest, the daily temperature of a city, the speed of a vehicle. all these values are measurable in some units. So those can be called as continuous random variable. Now, what is the purpose? Why are we studying this random variable? It's none other than to study its property. And the most important property of a random variable is its probability distributions. So first we'll cover the topic probability distributions of a discrete random variable. And then we'll move on to the probability distribution of a continuous random variable. Consider the following example. A coin is tossed 3 times. Let X denote the number of possibilities that heads appear. So the random variable X over here is taken to be that how many heads will you get when a coin is tossed 3 times. So let's have a look. So as per the question, the sample space for the above will be 8, as in there are only 2 possibilities, that is outcomes, and you are tossing the coin 3 times. So 2 cube will give you 8. So this is the possibilities of getting heads. Triple H, HHT, HTH, HTT, TTT, TTH, THT and THH. Also, if I represent the appearance of heads by numbers, now can you see class, there are no numbers assigned to X. So over here, let us see and give each possibility a number. For example, possibility of getting all 3 heads. That is 3 I have written over here. That means all the 3 heads is only 1. Similarly, as you can see, for getting 2 heads, there are how many possibilities? 3. HHT, HTH and THH. Possibility of getting only 1 head, as you can see, there are 3. HTT, TTH and THT. And possibility of getting 0 heads, that means no heads appear, is 1 again. So as you can see class, the numbers 0, 1, 2 and 3. It's none other than the value of X, that is a random variable. So the possibility of X is 0, 1, 2 and 3. Also, how to find the probability? Remember this formula class? N of A upon N of S. Let us define A as the event of getting heads. So possibility of getting 0 head is only 1 and the sample space is 8. So can I see? Probability of getting 0 heads is 1 by 8. In the similar manner, probability of getting 1 head is 3, as you can see in the bracket. So can I write 3 upon 8? Probability of getting 2 heads, again as you can see there are 3 possibilities. So can I write 3 upon 8? And probability of getting all the heads 3 times is 1. So can I write P of 3 is equal to 1 upon 8? So this is how class we will be moving on to our next topic. That is probability distribution of a DRV. What is DRV? Discrete random variable. So what I explained to you just now can be represented in a tabular form like this. Capital X is equal to small x, wherein small x represents the values 0, 1, 2 and 3. Also, probability of X is equal to X 1 by 8, 3 by 8, 3 by 8, 1 by 8, as I explained in the previous slide. If you add all the 4 together, you get the total to be as 1. So such a description of the possible values of a random variable X along with the corresponding probabilities is called as the probability distribution of a discrete random variable X. So I hope class you followed how to make a probability distribution table. Moving forward to the next topic, probability mass function. Let us take the similar example. Now what can you see over here? I have marked the total in red. Also read this important note. For a DRV, that is discrete random variable, to be a PMF, probability mass function, the following two conditions should be satisfied. Condition number 1, summation, that is total of probability of X, should be equal to 1. So can you see, class, this column probability of X, the total should sum up to 1. The second condition is the probability of X should be either greater or equal to zeros. So whatever values of probability of X you can see, class, should be either greater than 0 or equal to 0. So let us see what are the values of these particular probabilities. So as you can see, the summation of probability of X is 1. 1 divided by 8 gives you 0.125. 3 divided by 8 gives you 0.375. And again, 1 divided by 8 gives you 0.125. What is your observation, class? The total of this particular column is giving you 1. And at the same time, all the values of probabilities of X is greater than 0. So what can we say? Since in the above example, both the conditions are satisfied, the above probability distribution table is a PMF. So if even one condition is not satisfied, the function will not be a PMF. For a PMF, both these conditions should be satisfied. So I hope you all are following the concept till now. Moving on to the next topic, cumulative distribution function, CDF. Class, with this, do you remember cumulative frequency column? How you used to make cumulative frequencies, correct? That is nothing but cumulative distribution function in probability. The same way you have to make cumulative frequency column. So as you can see over here, the CDF of a DRV is defined as capital F of X is equal to summation of small f of X, where f of X is the probability distribution column, also the PMF column of random variable X. Taking the similar example, class, these two tables you're familiar with. So this probability of X ka column can also be called as frequencies of X. So we can prepare the CDF, that is cumulative distribution function ka column, like this. Capital F of X is equal to summation of all the frequencies of X one by one. So 1 upon 8 will be 1 upon 8 as it is for the first value. 1 upon 8 plus 3 upon 8. As the denominators are same, you can add your numerator, which gives you 4 by 8. 4 by 8 plus 3 by 8 will again give you 7 by 8. 7 by 8 plus 1 upon 8 will give you 8 upon 8. And 8 upon 8 is nothing but 1. So your cumulative frequency last number and the total of the frequencies should match. So I hope, class, you have followed with the concepts which I taught you all today. So topic for tomorrow, exercise 8.1 sums will be starting from tomorrow onwards. So till then, take care, stay safe, keep learning and keep practicing. We'll meet tomorrow for the next session. Till then, thank you so much, class. And if you like the video, please share the link with all your other friends and subscribe to my channel to get more updates. Thank you so much, class, and goodbye till we meet for the next session. We stop here for today.